Feed the beast.
Again, I digress, but I appreciate that a lot because that's very, very important.
Okay, let's get back here. Now, here, Bloody Mary, body and barrel of blood, card game. I mean,
It's pretty vivid. Yeah,
it's pretty vivid. And so, okay, this gives me tone. This helps set the stage. Like, okay, so these were, but that might have been one of the first ideas that I came up with, because but then it was like, good to the last drop. I mean, I might have added that. I don't know. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. That's what Post-it notes are for.
Right.
I've got these little barrels here, notations for A, B, and O. That's blood.
Blood types.
Blood types. We're getting low on type O barrel. Need to resupply. Resupply a free body every Friday night. I mean, you just, those are the thoughts that come to mind. And so this is the first stage that I go through personally to be able to get my idea of, okay, what is the rough thing? And it's pretty, and it's rough, and it's raw, but I didn't think about censoring myself.
Right.
Other than to my own taste of what I think is necessary to get across a story, and that's what I did. I said, okay, here you go.
Well, and there's a difference between censoring and editing.
Yes.
I think that when you get the idea down, go for it. Go for the gusto. Yeah. It's like when I used to design homes for clients. Go for, if you want the gilded edges, whatever, go for it. But then taper it back. Look at what you really need, in that. Whether it's structure, building, or structure and story.
Right.
This is very doable, though. This is extremely easy, an easy step to do to get the blood flowing, pardon the pun, and get things rolling. I think it's absolutely dynamite.
This is like doodling. I mean, you can't come up with, even if it's okay. I don't know how much of a reality, how original any of this is, because I just don't know. I mean, I didn't see this before. I took two, as I said, two ideas: Sopranos, Dusk Till Dawn. But the thing about it is that I had already had a reference that I was working with, which is my neighborhood bar in Brooklyn when I was growing up, and those were the gangsters were behind. That's what it was, the 1717 Club.
Yeah,
and that was a reference because they were across the street from my parents' religious gift shop.
Yeah, the irony of it all. Yeah,
the irony was there, and so that's where that initial idea came from. Is because I said, okay, how I knew I had as part of the world of a blood-winged angel. That's the neighborhood that Michael becomes part of and is brought into.
Yeah. And it's, it. I mean, that's what I told people, when they're asking about writing, how do you get the references? How do you use your surroundings as a base? We're here, our perception, our perspective is so important. It's so important. Whether you live next to a cemetery like I do, hence Grim 101, and science fiction's a little different. When I write science fiction, it's a complete, everything goes. But I think that with your stories of the neighborhood that you grew up in, that's great, because I know a lot of people have grown up in neighborhoods like that, especially in New York.
Right. But
fantastic.
And some of these neighborhoods no longer exist in the way that it was. Everything evolves.
Sure.
But the thing is that if you have lived long enough and done enough, you have references to pull back. It's not so much as you write what you know. I don't know about a vampire's personal experience.
Right.
I've never, I only went into the 1717 Club once or twice as a little kid, I peeked in and looked. I could see the stage and the
Mm,
bar and the images of the mobsters bringing their girlfriends on
mm.
Friday night there, and then their wives on Saturday night. you
Wow.
know, that and they were all dressed to the nines.
Sure.
Everything was there. But that's a 1950s. So I what I'm doing is I brought my personal experiences, and
Mhm,
everybody's got something.
mhm,
Everybody's got something to reference. That's the thing. If you're a writer, you will have observed. If you want to be a writer and you haven't, start observing. And I think that is the big and that's the referencing that I'm working with in terms of what are you putting down in your notes. You don't have to make up stuff
mhm,
whole cloth. You can do something from your past and then put it down into the post-it note. And then maybe that sparks an idea of fantasy, or you start connecting things,
mhm.
other thought. Just do that as just as a writing exercise.